All right, let's take a look at some percent problems here. Let's see. 35% of 120 is what? Anytime you're dealing with percents, you see the word of, typically means multiplication. So this is 35% of, so times 120 is what? But remember, 35% means 35 per 100, or 35 out of 100, times 120 equals, I have to get my calculator out here. I'll get my good calculator. All right, I'm back with my good calculator. So let's see. 35 ABC 100 times 120 gives us 42. So 35% of 120 is 42. Next we have 38%. 38 is 70% of what? So you're saying 70% of something is 38. So in this case, we're saying that 70% times some number is 38, or 70 hundredths times x equals 38. So 70% of times something is 38. So we just have to divide by 70 hundredths on each side to get. Now you could remember that dividing means that you flip the fraction, you invert and multiply. You could remember that, or you could just use your calculator and go 38 divided by 70 ABC 100 to get 54 2/7. That's 387ths. Oh, notice 38 times 100, 380 over 70. Looks like it's was originally 3,800 over 70. So anyways, but yeah, you just set up 70% of something, 70%, so 70 over 100 times something times x equals 38. And then we'll just divide and leave it up to your trusty calculator to do the division for you. Hey, what's 13/4 as a percent, as a decimal, so on? So as a decimal, we just divide 13 by 4. So we have 13, in your calculator it's pretty handy, you can say 13 ABC4 to get it as a fraction. That's a mixed number fraction. And second ABC enter will give you an improper fraction. If I could just turn around and go 13 divided by 4, that's what the fraction means, or one interpretation of it, I get 3.25 equals 3.25. And if I want to turn that into a percent, well, I just multiply times 100. That's 325%. Okay. Here's one other way to think about this, by the way. 13/4 is the same as something out of 100. So something out of 100, that's what a percent means. Per 100, so we just have to figure out 13/4 is the same as what out of 100, and we just cross multiply. And we have, let's see, 4x equals 1300, and divide by 4 on each side. 1300 divided by 4, 325. So you get the same answer. Right, so a couple different ways, or you can just simply take your decimal and multiply by 100. Next up, what's 35% as a fraction or a decimal? Well, 35% means 35 out of 100, which I suppose we really should reduce. We can divide both of these by 5, which gives us 7 out of 20. Or, as a decimal, well, what's 7 divided by 20? 0.35, which, notice, we could have gone directly from the percent to the decimal just by dividing by 100, or shifting the decimal place over 2 places to the left. Okay? So again, a couple quick things you need to remember here. If I say, 35% of 120 is what? Well, of is multiply. 35% times 120. 35% is 35 out of 100. So 35 out of 100 times 120, you get a number. If, on the other hand, I say that something, 38, for example, is 70% of what? That means that 70%, or 70 out of 100 times something, equals 38. Set it up that way, and then we just solve the equation. To turn fractions into decimals, we just 13 divided by 4, just divide. That's what the bar in the middle of the fraction means. To turn decimals into percents, we just have to multiply by 100. So to turn percents into fractions, we just put them over 100, because 35% means 35 out of 100, which we could simplify. To turn a percent into a decimal, we just divide by 100. There you go. Percents and decimals, fractions. Good work.